Welcome to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. Find those streams online on the TaylorvilleDailyNews.com Facebook or on YouTube on WTIM TV. I'm here in studio with pastor of the Davis Memorial Christian Church in Taylorville, Dennis Metzger. I beg your pardon, Dennis. Thank you so much for coming on to the program, Dennis. It's great to have you here. So, well, let's just go in and dive into a little bit of your background. You've been involved with a lot of nonprofit activities in Christian County over the past several years, huh?
I've been involved with a number of them. I am a native of Taylorville, went to high school in Taylorville. So yeah, I'm very involved in the community.
Well, tell me about some of the different nonprofit activities that you have been a part of.
Missions for Taylorville,
okay.
A big non-for-profit here in town. The Christian County Prevention Coalition. It's been going for a number of years. Local food bank, recovery groups, the local recovery groups here in town. We're founders of the Sharp House, men's recovery center here in Taylorville. And yes.
What is remind everybody, what is Missions for Taylorville?
Missions for Taylorville is an organization that helps homeowners that pretty much can't help themselves, whether it's financially or physically. A lot of cleanup projects, a lot of wheelchair ramps, again, cleaning up the properties, cleaning gutters, windows, activities that some people just can't do.
What is the Prevention Coalition?
Taylorville Prevention Coalition was started a number of years ago to teach more about the recovery community, to try to help youth, stay off of any kind of substances, but it has veered towards the adults, because we found out that if we can help adults, we're always helping kids too. So, and we do have a new recovery home starting in Taylorville. So we're real involved with the problem solving court here in town. So just a number of things that we do for the recovery community.
And all of this while you're holding down multiple secular jobs. Talk a little bit about those, if you would.
Well, I'm been working for the Illinois Department of Transportation, the local highway maintainer, for a number of years. But I come from the farming community, so I still farm a number of acres too.
And how did you get considered as being the pastor at Davis Memorial Christian Church? How did that come about?
I'm not real sure. I knew that the pastor was leaving and they were going to need somebody to do services, and so I kind of just throwed my hat in the box and started doing a little preaching there. And one thing led to another. We started a Celebrate Recovery group, or at least a leadership group, to begin trying to have Celebrate Recovery evenings at Taylorville. And we started that in August, September. And so that's kind of how I got my foot in the door with the church. And one thing led to another. And they called me as the interim pastor. And I started in January as the interim pastor. And then again, one thing led to another to where I'm at now.
We've had Danny Russell and a couple of others from the Celebrate Recovery program on the show before, back when it first started. How has it gone?
It's an unbelievable program. You had Danny and Chris here, yes. It's not just the thing about Celebrate Recovery, and it's been a driving force for the church too. But it's not just substance abuse. There is some substance abuse that we address too, but it's any habit, hang up, and hurt. So any kind of trauma, any kind of divorce, whatever it is in life that you're struggling with, we address it in a non-professional way, more of a self-help group. When we talk about our problems, we can address our problems, because at that point we're admitting that we have a problem. So it's been unbelievable evenings there at Davis Memorial on Tuesday nights.
Roughly when exactly then were you appointed?
I was installed June the 20th or May the 22nd.
Okay.
And I started as the senior pastor on the first weekend in June.
All right. How has that experience been transitioning into that role?
Well, there really wasn't any transitioning into the role. I was acting pastor at the church. Initially, it was a quite with no background in ministry, no background as being a senior pastor in a church. I do have a long background in ministerial work, but never overseeing a church.
You know, all churches have had challenges coming out of the pandemic. How has your church fared?
When I started, they had anywhere from 10 to 20 members showing up for Sunday services, and they were still doing an outdoor service. So it took a huge toll, as you said, on all the churches locally or even globally, I'm sure. But yeah, it took a huge toll on the church, and attendance is a big part of the church. So when there's no attendance, it really hurts the church.
And so, I mean, has that improved over time as you get further and further away from the pandemic, or is it
We're
kind of stagnant?
no, it's we just opened the church up. We just absolutely opened the church up, and I mean, we're still mindful of what's going on with COVID, but we've opened the church up, and we're having attendance of anywhere from 60 to 100 to 120 showing up for services. And we've opened up all of the activities that's going on with the church, whether it be we're having bi-monthly, we're having a free lunch at the church. Kids club, preschool is still going. We had VBS with 3 other churches.
Vacation Bible School.
Vacation Bible School. We had problem solving court graduation or commencement. And again, we have Celebrate Recovery every Tuesday. So there's just a number of activities going on in the church, and yeah, it's growing by leaps and bounds.
Sounds like your church is doing a lot and extending its ministry outside the 4 walls of the church.
Very well way to say it, Avery. Very well way to say it.
And again, when is Celebrate Recovery? You mentioned Tuesday evenings, and it's at the Davis Memorial Christian Church. What time?
We serve a supper. Well, actually, we don't. There's well, part of our group does have a 1 week, but there's other churches, Taylorville Christian Church, E-Free, the Methodist Church, all have groups that are coming in and feeding the Celebrate Recovery participants at 5:30. We start our large group at 6:30, which is open to anybody. And then we break out into small groups at 7:30.
Well, let me reintroduce you here, and then we'll continue our conversation after a quick break. That is Pastor Dennis Metzger of the Davis Memorial Christian Church in Taylorville. Your stream brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. More from Dennis right after this.
WTIM.
Davis talks like a Republican here and votes like a Democrat in Washington. Paid for by Conservative Outsider PAC, copac.us, and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Conservative Outsider PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Lift up your eyes, I'm calling you. In the dark of night, I'll see you through. And even though you'll go through trials, I'll be right by your side. Don't forget I'm here with you.
At HSHS Good Shepherd Hospital, we'll be right by your side, day or night, because respect guides us, and care defines us, confidence empowers us, and joy inspires us. You see, this isn't just our job, it's our calling, and we answer it every day for every family. HSHS Good Shepherd Hospital. We're here with you.
I'm Will Perkins, President and CEO of the Taylorville Community Credit Union. TCCU is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Miller Media Group Community Spotlight, allowing a different nonprofit organization to be highlighted on WTIM, WMKR, and WRAN each month.
Here's Judge Ron Spears with the Taylorville Optimist Club.
On June 15th, the Taylorville Optimist Club will celebrate 57 years of local public service projects. By providing hope and positive vision, optimists believe that giving of oneself in service to others will advance the well-being of our community. Optimists will again sponsor the July 4th fireworks at Lake Taylorville, and the financial support of individuals and businesses is greatly appreciated. The Optimist Club needs new members to help in its public service. Meetings are at People's Bank at 7 a.m. on the second and fourth Thursdays of each month. Come and share your talents and include optimism in your life.
TCCU is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Miller Media Group Community Spotlight. Come join us. You'll wonder why you waited. Member NCUA.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. I'm here in studio with pastor of Davis Memorial Christian Church in Taylorville, Dennis Metzger. Great to have you here, Pastor Metzger.
Hello, sir.
It's great to have you. So, what are some of your goals in the coming months as you lead Davis Memorial Christian Church?
That might be the first time this has been asked to me since I've started in at the church. The goals being it in ministry in itself is about helping others. Mm-hmm. Whatever we can do in whatever organization, whatever church that we're affiliated with or not affiliated with, it is all about helping others, bringing them to the Lord, but also letting them help them find joy and peace.
And through that service too, you hope to help them find the Lord too.
Amen.
Right. And service such as, of course, Sharp House and Problem Solving Court. We talked a little bit about missions for Taylorville. Let's address Problem Solving Court too, and how the church kind of intermits.
Well, Problem Solving Court, better known as Drug Court, is giving people another chance. A chance at trying to get their life changed back to the way, hopefully the way that God designed them to have their life to be. Whatever ways that we can support Problem Solving Court. We just recently had the graduation or at Davis Memorial, and it is an amazing program. It is a very structured program, but the participants always need extra support, and that's where the church comes in.
And that sounds like it's in the same essence with Sharp House too, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. The Sharp House is a men's recovery home here in Taylorville. Was started by my wife and I, coming on to 7 years now. It's just preferably a safe, sober facility to live out and structured with some accountability and some direction to change their lives.
You said you and your wife founded it about 7 years ago.
That's correct. Being a background of substance abuse, it's another tool here in town that can be utilized to somebody that wants to change their ways. The Shadow House is here in town. Wonderful group, wonderful organization. for the women's, more structured than what the Sharp House is, but we have no employees. It's just a place to hang your hat and try to get your life back together.
What inspired the creation of Sharp House?
Pastor Charlie Sharp, which is a program that I attended 13 years ago, who has, when I was there was 122 in the program. It was a working program, and then again, it's about finding the Lord and changing your life.
And so, I mean, was there an event or something where you saw in the community where you said, you know what, this needs to be a thing?
Again, it kind of went back to the Shadow House. There was a facility for women that wanted to that needed a place to a safe place with some accountability and with some structure in their lives, and there wasn't a place for men. And don't ask me how it happened. It's kind of like when I became pastor at the church. How it happened, I don't have a clue how it happened, but it happened, and it is a calling, and it's been good. There's been struggles. Money is always a struggle, but also in just people's that they can change, to give them hope.
If someone wants to support Sharp House, how can they do so? Can they volunteer or otherwise?
Yeah, there's always ways that people can help. They can call the church. My cell number 217-254-5027. Yeah, there's a number of ways that people can help. There's always needed in funds.
And what kind of ways, I mean, specifically you just mentioned funds, but in terms of volunteering, what can they do?
Well, we don't promote people at the house. It's just a very quiet place for nobody needs to know where it's at or what's going on in the facility. It's
Gotcha.
just it's a place for them to get their lives together.
Gotcha. And well, we talked a little bit about Missions for Taylorville and what it does for homeowners. What's something about Missions for Taylorville that you maybe wouldn't know about unless you're involved in it?
Well, what was it? 2 weeks ago, we had our first Missions for Taylorville again after the tornado, the 3-year change, with COVID in the midst of it too. But we had our first, the way that the first Saturday work day, the way it was originally designed a bunch of years ago. We are just in the works of typically we always had one in the spring and one in the fall, and we're in the works to have our fall work day. The dates are not scheduled yet, but it appears there's going to be another work day here coming this fall.
Excellent. Where can people go to find out when that will be exactly?
Follow the Facebook page. There'll be stuff in the media and stuff. They can always call the church, 217-824-8181.
Excellent. And also Celebrate Recovery happening Tuesday evenings, if I'm not
every Tuesday, 5:30.
Every Tuesday, 5:30.
It is it's just a good structured program. I always say that our open group, the large group, is kind of church on steroids. We just have a good time. We celebrate recovery. We celebrate even small victories.
That is Pastor Dennis Metzger with the Davis Memorial Christian Church in Taylorville. Thank you so much for coming on, Pastor Metzger.
Thank you, sir. God bless.
Your show brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. Again, you can find those streams online on the TaylorvilleDailyNews.com Facebook or on YouTube at WTIM TV.